in their victory against Mauritius. Now, in terms of the head-to-head stakes at the COSAFA tournament, they've met just once before. That was a good decade and a half back now, in 2007. Eswatini emerging victorious, and Mpilo Tapedze scoring in that one, a 1-0 victory. And for him, it was his only ever COSAFA Cup goal. Separated the two sides on the day. Well, Matabela, one of two goalkeepers of the 8 that turned out in the first round to keep a clean sheet. He would love to keep that record going this afternoon and join Kgotsone Poko of Botswana with 2 clean sheets to his name. We expect to see the numbers in the stands swell over the course of this match, and indeed into the evening, as we enjoy the second game on offer, that between Lesotho and Mauritius. But certainly, and I'm sure William Shongwe will be a little perturbed to hear this, more support for Malawi, and at least in terms of audibility, than there is for Eswatini at this stage. We'll get his thoughts after a kickoff. We're just waiting for the referee to get his cue here. Everything done down to the exact second at the 2022 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup, and we are underway. And the Flames of Malawi playing in a really crisp-looking all-black strip, well, almost all black with a bit of red trim, against Eswatini in a really nice and crisp white. William. Indeed.
You know what? Don't make a mistake just because Malawi lost their first game and think that they'll be an easy meat to chew. I saw a Malawi team that was very aggressive, that looked, obviously I think I looked unlucky through a few mistakes that were very costly. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about this game, I must be honest. But you know what, I trust Mr. Ganena on the bench. Tactically he will have set up things that well to be able to come up with a positive result.
Well, it's Malawi looking to make the early inroads here. Tom Panta has given it away. And seized upon by Zinisa. He's laid it off, and eventually ends up at the feet of Fanelo Mamba,
who's playing as an inverted winger this time. Normally operates on the right inside, but this time he's looking to maybe use his speed to cut a little to the inside and apply the right pressure.
Oh, dangerous moment here, and Gabadini Mahango has gone down. The referee gave himself some time to think, and he's made the call in favor of Eswatini. Well, Peter Junior Dlamini's heart would have been in his mouth right here.
Yeah, remember, it's just a young defender that has just made it into the squad. The one thing that he is a little bit strong on the ball, and if you look at Muyaba and Peter Banda, Idana obviously, who plays a lot more into the side of the stadium, or should I say of the field, so he's a bit of a hard man.
New recruit for Amazulu is Gabadini Mahango. I don't think there was, so the referee's gone over to speak to him to obviously say, you know, don't attempt to fool me, but I don't think he was. It was a 50-50. He's the man that went down. He didn't appeal for anything. He wasn't trying to dive.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It was a shoulder charge, and which every now and then, obviously, depending on how you positioned and how firm you are on your feet, to be able to resist the pressure from the opposition.
This time Ukonta gets it away. Well, a lively start here.
Like I was saying, make no mistake about Malawi. They still played very well, except for that they didn't take certain chances that were presented to them, and they made those mistakes defensively. But for the coach to be able to change those players this early, I'm now beginning to think those that have been robbed in, just how are they going to deal with the pressure of having to replace those that made the mistake? There's pressure on its own to be able to replace somebody that maybe didn't have a good game. And consistency as well going forward is another that they will miss.
Eswatini was in your shot. I mentioned prior to kickoff that he is making his first international start. He debuted off the bench against Mauritius. Got himself just under a quarter hour under his belt.
This comes from a big team in the Kingdom of Eswatini. That is Manzini Wanderers. Maybe not as big as they used to be, but still have a great following as far as supporters are concerned. And it's a team that obviously hasn't performed that well recently. They used to hold the bulk of national team players in the past, but not anymore.
Fanelo Mamba plays for Young Buffaloes, and if you're speaking of the bulk of the national team, at least of this 11 coming from one team, then it would be Young Buffaloes. 3 of the 4 in the back line are from Buffaloes as well. And that includes Lindo Mkonta. In fact, the man standing over the free kick, the only player in the back line not from that side, he's from Babani Highlanders. Away by John Banda. Jimone. One is found Kuda Myaba, player based in South Africa with Polokwane City. Sambani initially thought he was just going to hack that clear, but he's tried to run it out of defense. They still have the ball, Malawi. Dlamini. Cleverly through to Fanelo Mamba. Doesn't quite have the pace to reel it in. Just good covering from Calvin Kadzinje. There he is on the ball. He's on debut as well. Well, Malawi made the trip from Blantyre to Johannesburg on Saturday, and then a short layover in Johannesburg, and then through to Durban. Actually came in groups, and there were some players who joined them on Sunday, those from Wanderers, because they had to contest a league game the day prior. Their league's still running at the moment. Malawi, most of the teams have reached the halfway point, but some have not. Decent shape on that cross and a good claim from Matabela.
What you'd maybe have or like about Matabela is that when it comes to crosses, balls played into the area high for that matter, he's the better of the other goalkeepers. So, and with the wing play of Malawi, that's where the coach once again thought maybe keeping him as the number 1 will make sense today, because they play with quite a bit of wing play, so they'll need his assistant with coming up for the high balls.
Well controlled in midfield by Idana to get things moving for Malawi. They've given the ball away. Tinisa isolated on the left-hand side. He's come in field and he's held the ball up wonderfully well as he waits for his teammates to join him. Now that's a worrying moment. Wow. Well, how about that from Clevum Kungula? Very smart goalkeeping. That's the first save, I guess, he's had to make in international football.
But surprisingly, it hasn't been given as a corner. Or are they assuming that the ball was already over the bar when he touched it? Because I think it definitely did.
Maybe he didn't.
Maybe it didn't.
Yeah, it might have hit the top of the crossbar. This will give us a better idea.
Yeah, top of the bar.
Okay, so still waiting to make his first save
but
in
listen,
international
he
football.
had it covered. Let me put it that way.
He did have it covered. Very big day for him. 22 years old, Clevum Kungula. He's the second choice behind Richard Chimbwawa at Nyasa Big Bullets. He replaces Ernest Kagobwe today, a man who was previously at Nyasa and since moved to civil service. Oh, skips away from his man, decent cross in, and an equally good header. It's only partially clear, eventually away.
Wherever Peter Abanda is, I can tell you there's going to be a problem. And I'm thinking that he might have been the one that was coming from that wide side of the pitch. He's very skillful. He came in last 20 minutes or so and really opened up the game for Malawi.
He was on it just past half time, I think. Didn't notice him really get into things for a little while, but then towards the latter stages of the match, certainly influential.
Very, very brave. He doesn't mind taking on a defender with just about every move that he's got. And the right fullback, or should I say both fullbacks, have got to be wary of him because he can play on both sides of the wing.
Just in for Chimume Dana. There's it back. Tripped over the top, out to the flank. It's looking promising for Malawi. Cross cut out. It was very, very crucial. Stanley Zanudi had advanced upfield. Didn't have the best game, did Zanudi last time out. This time thwarted by Mzwandile Mabeleza.
Excellent covering defense from Mabeleza, who comes a little bit into the middle this time around in this game, but sometimes he can play the center of defense.
Nice flicked header. Good idea from Hone. A former player for Dinamo Bucharest in his homeland of Romania. He's a little familiar with South Africa. He was about a decade or so back in the Limpopo province with Black Leopards. He's been with the Malawi national team since last year. Dlamini with a little dart into space. Finds Zinisa. Here comes the cross. Zinisa with the chest control. Good idea, but I think he's perhaps a little frustrated that Sfiso Mate didn't read his intentions a bit better. Malawi have a lot of support, and Peter Banda is getting those in the grandstand behind him whenever he's on the ball.
It is true,
yep.
But there's a little bit of a balance on the Eswatini side. But I think what has happened is Malawi has obviously taken control of this game and they are conducting terms basically. So obviously you'll find the volume a little bit higher on the team that is on the ball more consistently.
Zinisa scored his 13th international goal against Mauritius 2 days back. Up by Sanudi as the vice captain of the team, so if ever Jampanda is absent, he'll take the skipper's armband. Swept in, not a particularly good cross. That's nice. Twala. Zinisa challenging in the air, and that call goes against him, tangling with the Paul and Clovu.
A bit more calm is Eswatini. They need to be because the game is turning slowly into a situation whereby they build up a bit more. They don't hit the ball for what they're used to.
Now here's Gudumyaba. Mhango has left the ball behind, still he has it. More firmly towards the feet of Nyaba, who was upended. Mamba takes his man on. Dlamini. There's Mabelesa. Strokes it out wide. Konto's onside. Salim Konto tries to chop back. Now Nzanisa, he's left it. There's an Eswatini corner to come. Dlamini with the strike.
It's the first attempt on goal, I think. Or should I say, maybe that was a bit more meaningful for me, except for that one that was hit from far that nearly caught the goalkeeper off his line. But a bit more grounded now, a bit more passing game, build up, getting into the area. That's why they were afforded with this opportunity.
Corner in, and it's found the head of Sfiso Matse, who's steered it wide. 29-year-old from Royal Leopards. It's the police side, right?
Yes. Yeah. Buffalo is the army team.
Yep.
And then Green Mamba is the correctional service team. Which is a bit of a surprise that the Green Mamba is the least number of players,
yeah? Not particularly well represented at all. Crossfield ball to try and locate Peter Banda. He has kept this alive. Oh, Banda.
It's a marvel to watch. This time he's got the ball, I'm sure, for the Malawian people. There's goosebumps because it's like, you know, he can take that single move he can turn it into a goal in a split second. His ability to take on defenders, I mentioned earlier, is just unbelievable. We've just seen just one moment.
He's certainly a star in the making. Many eyes. He's already a star, one of their better exports in recent years. 21-year-old who plays for Simba, giant of Tanzanian football.
And before that, by the way, he was, I think, with Moldova. That's where he was playing, in the islands up there. And so you can see that already from such a young age, he caught the eye of many scouts, and it's a matter of time before he grows into a star player.
Yeah.
Talking about star players, Malawi has continued to produce great stars. I mean, I'm just tempted to bring a few names. Anderson Mtawali, we've already mentioned, has been a star in South Africa, but one of the greatest is Kina Piri, who obviously graduated into a coaching Eswatini. He's coaching in South Africa for a number of teams, and he's back in Malawi in Lilongwe now, retired.
Melesa. Twala. All read by Sampani. A field for Nyaba. And looking to latch onto that one. Kabadini Mohango, he's impeded.
And it's in a very good spot. You just need to left-footed player that can wind up into the top corner. But I'm sure Mohango won't mind also having a go at it as well.
It's the second time he's tangled with Peter Dlamini, and you have to wonder what the referee makes of that, because surely had he not fouled Mohango, he would have been in on goal. They may have let him off a little lightly. The 39-year-old from Zambia, our match official today.
Yeah, like I said,
yeah.
Mohango
and Banda over this, yeah. Banda leaves it for Gabadinho Mahango. Well, he's going to become, and is already very familiar with this region of the world. The time he spent at Le Montfort Golden Arrows before moving on to the Westfits and eventually Orlando Pirates. And now back at KZN with Amazulu, one of the star signings for the upcoming season. In his homeland, he started with Inyasa Big Bullets, where a lot of players get their big break in terms of moving abroad.
Big Bullets, Bata Bullets, Nyasa Bullets. This is just some of the name changes that they've had to go through.
Yeah.
It's the same team that I was talking about, Guinea Prince, the same team that I played for as well before coming down to Eswatini. Big team, lots of history.
Oh, hard boot there from the young man, Meliswa Tlamini. Mamba plays it back from Konta. Zanisa challenging in the air, losing out. Well, just a second COSAFA Cup meeting between these two sides, but a 23rd meeting overall. And Malawi have dominated in the past. They have 11 wins to Eswatini's 3. Further 8 games have been drawn. Oof. That one skewed off the boot of Zanisa, but
you can imagine
the goal,
it was in the level of the goals. It might have killed inside because he got it with the outside of his boot. Oh, that would have been a wonder goal.
And you say to yourself, well, you can't score from there, surely, can you? Chapulo Mankana will say, yes, you can.
I mean, yesterday, the late goal from Angola, to make it 3, came from a very tight angle.
Just talking about the times these two sides have crossed paths, and most recently before today was in 2019 for the 2020 Chan qualifiers. They drew 0-0 in Manzini, then met in Blantyre. This is easily collected by Swatini's clubman. And that was a 1-1 draw. Hone scoring for Malawi, and Sandile Gamedze, who's on the bench for Eswatini, who went through on away goals. Ultimately, they didn't qualify for the Chan tournament, but that's what transpired when last they met.
But what I like about the coach of Eswatini, Dominic Dali, is the one thing that he was preaching to the players is respect. The fact that Eswatini won the first game and Malawi lost must not be in any way used to think that Malawi doesn't have what it takes. But respect is the word that he used so frequently in describing their approach. But remember, even a draw will still put him in a good position to maybe get another draw in the last game against Lesotho. So he's trading very cautiously. He's not going to come up with guns blazing and open it up, because he can be hurt if you look at the quality of Malawi. I mean, Gabadinho Mahango himself on his own, I mean, he's a handful. Depending on his level of fitness, we know he's not at his best fitness-wise. But he played a game, didn't finish it. But I'm sure he's feeling a lot better than he felt in that first game.
A handful, that's probably understating it. He has almost as many international goals as the entire Eswatini 11 out there put together. Just one fewer in total. Moved on by Idana. Field for Kudumnyaba, looking to find Gabadinho Mahango. Nyaba will challenge again. Kudumnyaba was running away with the golden boot in South Africa's first division this past season. rise and shine. He ended on 15 goals. He was eventually pipped by Black Leopards Tiklas Tukla, a young South African, who managed 16 after putting together a tremendous goal-scoring run at the end of the season that coincided with Lidoda Duba's terrific form.
Joel Masuta, the man that is came halfway through the season and transformed the team. And almost a similar feat that he was able to achieve a few seasons back when he helped them get promoted into the DSTV Premiership.
Well, even after he took over, John Masuta, things weren't really going their way. There was a point where they were so far adrift, and then put together the best winning streak of any club across the entire season. They saved their status and some. Mid-table by the end of the term. There's Mahango. Now flash of blue boots, and he's away. Hold back, and he'll get the free kick. I think it was only a matter of time. It's a couple of fouls from Dlamini at this point.
Look at the forcefulness of Mahango. I mean,
Bund attacks. Van Sambani. Looking to change the original angle of the attack, and eventually nothing materializes from that. Eswatini opened their 2021 campaign with a 3-1 win over Lesotho, and this year obviously that 3-0 win over Mauritius, which means for the first time since 2002 and 2003, when they beat Namibia 2-1 and Madagascar 2-0, they've won their opening game in consecutive tournaments. Terrific work by Dominic Kunene. Credit to him. They're also currently on their longest run of scoring in consecutive games. It's 5 in total since 2016, when they scored in 6 straight games across 2015 and 2016. So they could equal that today if they managed to net. That cross hung up. Was attacked by Mahango. Perhaps a little overzealously. He's gone into the back of an opponent.
But it's always so tempting when the ball hangs like that up front. I mean, the difference is the player heading or is in front. In that case, the Eswatini defender is coming from a standing position, and Mahango coming from behind. He's coming with a low momentum. So clearly, he'll be viewed as more a foul against Mahango, because he's coming and knocks him out after the header was executed.
Eswatini on the attack, just not able to get the cross in. Malawi have been in camp since the 20th of June, although on and off. So the deal they struck with the club teams was that the national team players would train Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, then they'd go back to their club while they wrapped up the first half of the season. There are still a few teams that need to play their games. So for example, Paul Ndlovu comes from Mafco, but they still have games to play. In fact, they'll be in action tomorrow against Sable Farming. Now through on goal is Vanelo Mamba. Let's see, the referee had already called a halt to play. Inyasa, by the way, leading the TNM Super League quite comfortably. They have 41 points off of 15 games. Their closest challengers, Blue Eagles, on 30 points. They wrapped up the first half of their season last week, so they're able to release their players. Malawi free kick to come. One of their players that you won't see, though, is Gomezgan Chirwa, who left his passport behind. So he made his way all the way to Joburg and then couldn't get through into the country and had to return to Malawi. Now free kick swung in.
So, any details of where the passport, did he leave it behind in Malawi, or did he get lost along the way?
Yeah,
the plane or something?
He's back, and I think he has located it. So if they make it through to the next round, then he'll join the team. If not, then obviously there's no point.
How sad.
Very, eh?
I mean, this is the type of tournament that you look forward to.
Yeah.
The experience that you gain from just being here with the team, it's massive.
And he only just turned 20 last month as the referee gets himself tangled in the action. Now, surely yes, and he has. a little delayed, but he's called a stop to the play because directly impacted proceedings on the park.
I had another chat with Felix, the COSAFA official that is obviously here of the referees, and he was very upset about some incident that took place yesterday. And but again, it's learning curve for some of these referees. They are here for the first time, and it takes them being involved at this level on the continuous basis before they get it right.
The Suta Queen in the mix.
She loves the cameras.
We all know there's a Suta Queen, I believe.
Yeah, small.
Luyanda, right?
Yes, and she's been remarkable since the tournament began, of course, using her influence to rally the
a lot of influence.
Yeah. And some of the officials from Eswatini. And there is a former player in that list, Ace Mashwama, who was the top striker for Mbabane Highlanders and is the team manager. And a few, if we get the chance, obviously, to turn the camera in either direction from where that official was sitting. Denisa. Anybody, anytime he holds his head, you must be very concerned. This very bad injury.
Battle hardened. Turns 31 at the end of this month. Does Sabelo Nzinisa.
And he was out of
very
action
fit.
for a long way, a long time. But that is Josiah sitting on the edge, obviously Dlamini. And then there's Mark Fish, Kevin Johnson, and Sandile Magongo, and one of the guys who represent the tourism of Eswatini. He's also here.
Mark Fish and Kevin Johnson, part of the technical committee that have been reviewing the games. We often see them in the suites with their heads down, writing vigorously. Yeah.
I was telling them the other day, don't look so serious. Don't pretend it's happening. Roy, formerly involved with Bidvest.
Still on his scouting missions, as he always is. He's already identified a few players. Tanisa, a nice pass, that's lovely. Oh, swept out wide. The intention to find Fanelo Mum, but it's not quite enough on it. Sambani intervened. This is Peter Banda, a 21-year-old. Now Stanley Sanuri moves past 70 caps today. I think his 71st Flames appearance. Has the ball back.
I can understand why Smolly, the Sutu Queen, has sided with Malawi, because one of the stars of Malawi is going to be her player very soon.
Indeed.
Holding on is Eswatini. The elephant is still sitting on top of the tree.
Okay, you need to give some
Sagging
context.
as it may.
Yeah.
You're the one that to put into context. I've just said it and left it out there.
Eswatini, of course, at the top of the group, but that's a precarious position, is what Mr. Shongwe is alluding to. Zacharias Baloy of Mozambique, the second assistant. It's the first offside called for today.
That's his nature. He's very aggressive. He's going to challenge for everything in the air. Sometimes leave a little bit of the boot.
Yeah. 29-year-old from Chiweta, Gabadini Mango, into the referee's book.
Maybe returning a few favors to the player that has been giving well since beginning of the match, Patrick Lamini.
Well, Mango now joins Peter Dlamini in the book. Of all his goal-scoring acumen, he is prone to moments of ill-discipline every now and again. He's improved in that regard, Gabadini Mango, down the years. I certainly remember some rather nasty incidents in the colours of Lamont with Golden Arrows a few years back. There's Lindo Mkonta. Nice firm ball forward for Mamba. He set it for Dlamini. Returned to Fanelo Mamba. Matse in. And onside was Sabelo Nzinisa. His header straight at the debutant, Clebum Kungula.
Well positioned. Great effort. Once again.
A wry smile from Dominic Kunene.
Protect the ball so well, Mhanga.
Banda loses out. John Banda stuck in a foot. That referee has made the call against him. Sfiso Matse indicating that he's okay. The two hard men collide. Our match official is a father of three. Has a twin boy and girl, 8 years old, and another younger son, 3 years old. He's actually officiating at his third COSAFA Cup.
It's a game that is going to depend eventually on the conditioning of the two teams, basically, to keep up with the pressure or to continue to play competitively throughout into the second half. More than anything, it's evenly matched right now. Though Malawi does have a bit more ball position, maybe they're making more inroads into that taking third. But I think at the end of the day, it will come to who's the fitter of the two.
Well, not since the opening match of the 2022 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup has a game gone into the break at 0-0. That was Seychelles versus Botswana. Zebras scoring just after the interval. Courtesy of their captain Tato Kebue. But every other match played so far, there has been a first half goal to report. Still 5 minutes left until these players will go down the tunnel. Strong play by Ntinisa Sfiso Mate, Sitlangu Mkunazi. Punted forward by Matabela.
Offside call from Mamba.
There's ball in long. That wide to Sanuri. Deep cross from him. Mango will attack it. They've regathered the ball through John Banda. Sanuri. Pass to Mone. Gain is clear by Eswatini. That's Malawi have hung on to the ball for the last little while. Once again, another deep cross, looking for Gabadini Mango. It's with Nsinisa now. Mate. Klamini. Malawi desperate to get this victory and keep themselves alive in the competition. The last time that they lost consecutive games at the same tournament was back in 2006. That's when they went down to Zambia and Namibia in Windhoek. They have lost consecutive games, but that would be their final game at one tournament and their first at the next. But as far as at the same tournament, it's been quite some time since that happened.
Didn't blow initially, but only after the player seemingly fell awkwardly did the ref blow. But the thing is, I'm not sure if he's going to blow for a foul or just for the protection of the player, because he wasn't sure if it's a head injury or something. Because both players went into the air for the same ball.
Concern in the dugout from Hone.
For those that care to remember, Messian actually played for Cosmos.
Indeed.
A while back, eh?
Yeah. As quite a young man he did. There's confirmation of Twyla's yellow card. He is a bit perplexed. Can't really believe that he has been booked.
Which is especially the point they made that for me, it was a question of two players going for the same ball. And
Mhone turns 27 2 days after the final. It was this year's final. And he's already moved past 50 international caps. He's earning his 51st today. Mamba looking to go around Sambani.
Yeah, he was looking to pass himself.
Yeah,
because he was obstructed as he was trying to run around. Not too many players can do that. You pass the ball side and you still run the other side to pick it up.
Dana Mhone.
There's a young player who's more of a wide attacking player on the right hand side.
Now Banda blocked off. It's Mamba returning the favour.
But he blew the whistle. Why would you complain about the ref?
Peter Banda laid a short, got it back from his namesake John. This is Eswatini. Forward by Mkonta. There's no one at home. Oh, kept in field brilliantly by Mhone. Gabadini Mango trying to work the space to shoot. He's laid it off for Banda.
Brilliant. That is now Malawi at their best. The wing play is one thing that I guess maybe Eswatini has dealt it very well. We haven't seen too many balls played from the wide areas, but this case, with the defender diving there, it allowed the Malawi attacking player to bring this surprise cutback, which obviously Mhango, with nowhere to go, decided to lay it back to the oncoming Banda. Decent move.
And Malawi have it again, this time with Peter Banda. Tossed into play, but easily away by Mkonta. Tanisa beaten in the air by Kelvin Kadinje. Nicely done by Pilani Mkonto. One of the more recent additions to this Eswatini squad. He's going to get it back here, Mkonto. Twisting away from the attentions of John Banda. Mhone. That's it, first half in the book here. Just the second match at this 2022 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup tournament. It is a 0-0 scoreline at half-time. Not for the want of trying, though. Both teams have showed plenty of endeavour as they search for the opener. Eswatini to take a step towards the quarterfinals, whilst Malawi are looking to stay in the running. And the players getting a little tense here. Nothing to separate them, though. It's 0-0 between Malawi and Eswatini.
The largest sardine run on earth and once in a lifetime Big 5 month.
Solutions 24 returns with a brand new season.
We once actually got to a point where we gave up on our idea.
It's going to take more time than you think.
13 social entrepreneurs changing lives and positively impacting communities in South Africa with their innovative ideas.
We can't just be selfish and just think of ourselves. We have to think of everybody.
Amputated 14 March. 11 months. And then Sorry.
Healing engazange ifumane esontweni kodwa ndikwazile ukuyifumana apha.
You got to learn how to stand up for yourself. You got to learn how to almost stand up for your space.
You know, life happens and you need to be able to take the bull by its horns.
I'm the great tragic actress. I wanted to make people cry and feel better.
Sundays at 8 p.m. right here on SABC2.
Loss, grief, pain, rejection.
I think I've been in a bubble or something.
When it feels as though the walls are closing in on you, take a moment to listen to the beat within. Take heart and rise. Put on your dancing shoes. And as if nobody's watching, dance to the rhythm of your soul. Be encouraged with the feel-good movies this July on SABC2. You belong.
Ready for Shampopo and spinning with Hollywood bets? Play Spinner Zonke online now and enter our world of fantasy. Is hot fruit a favorite of yours? Be your own king with COSAFA. Or try your luck at the Wealth Inn. With hundreds of exciting games to choose from, there is something for everyone. Get spinning now with Hollywood bets and Spinner Zonke.
Well, a statement-making win in the opening game of the 2022 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup has many identifying Eswatini as this year's dark horses. They face a pretty tricky obstacle this afternoon, squaring up with a Malawi side desperate for the 3 points that will keep their knockout aspirations alive. So hello and a very warm welcome wherever you may find yourself on the African continent or around the world today. A very toasty King Eswatini Stadium in Umlazi is the stage for this crucial Group B encounter that hasn't deterred the fans, even those out on the far side who don't enjoy the shade of the grandstand. It's an absolute pleasure to have you join us wherever you may find yourself for what should be a really, really good match. So the CAF anthem ringing out and the flags of the respective nations will soon be brought to the turf as our match officials also make their way to the park. You know, this is a crunch tie. Eswatini got up and running in style on Wednesday. Comfortable 3-0 win over Mauritius, laying a great platform for continued success at this regional showpiece. And having won their first match at the 2021 edition for the first time now since 2002 and 2003, they've opened consecutive tournaments with victories. A little bit of history there for Eswatini. It hasn't been quite as cheerful a week for the Flames of Malawi. A late push in vain as they went down 2-1 to Lesotho. And today, another mountain kingdom may extinguish them. Malawi are truly fighting for their lives with only victory sufficient in their pursuit of a knockout berth. Everything done down to the exact second at the 2022 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup, and we are underway. The Flames of Malawi playing in a really crisp looking all black strip, well almost all black with a bit of red trim, against Eswatini in a really nice and crisp white. William. Indeed.
You know what? Don't make a mistake just because Malawi lost their first game and think that they'll be an easy meat to chew. I saw a Malawi team that was very aggressive, that looked, obviously I think I looked unlucky through a few mistakes that were very costly. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about this game, I must be honest. But you know what? I trust Mr. Ganena on the bench. tactically he would have set up things that well to be able to come up with a positive result.
Well, it's Malawi looking to make the early inroads here. Tom Banda's given it away. And seized upon by Zinisa. He's laid it off and eventually ends up at the feet of Fanelo Mamba,
who's playing as an inverted winger this time. Normally operates on the right hand side, but this time he's looking to maybe use his speed to cut a little to the inside and apply the right pressure.
Oh, dangerous moment here, and Gabadini Mahango has gone down. The referee gave himself some time to think, and he's made the call in favor of Eswatini. Well controlled in midfield by Idana to get things moving for Malawi. They've given the ball away. Zinisa isolated on the left-hand side. He's come in field and he's held the ball up wonderfully well as he waits for his teammates to join him. Now that's a worrying moment. Wow. Well, how about that from Clevum Kungula? Very smart goalkeeping. That's the first save, I guess, he's had to make in international football.
But surprisingly, it hasn't been given as a corner. Or are they assuming that the ball was already over the bar when he touched it? Because I think it definitely did.
Maybe he didn't.
Maybe it didn't.
Yeah, it might have hit the top of the crossbar.
Yeah,
this will give us a better idea.
Yeah, top of the bar.
Okay, so still waiting to make his first save
but
in
listen,
international
he
football.
had it covered. Let me put it that way.
He did have it covered. Very big day for him, 22 years old. Bomhone turns 27, 2 days after the final. It was this year's final. And he's already moved past 50 international caps. He's earning his 51st today. Mamba looking to go around Sambani.
Yeah, he was looking to pass himself.
Yeah,
because he was obstructed as he was trying to run around. Not too many players can do that. You pass the ball side and you still run the other side to pick it up.
Dana Hone.
There's a young player who's more of a wide attacking player on the right hand side.
Now Banda blocked off. It's Mamba returning the favour.
But he blew the whistle. Why would you complain about the ref?
Peter Banda later short, got it back from his namesake John. This is Niliswa Tlamini. Forward by Mkonta. There's no one at home. Oh, kept in field brilliantly by Mhone. Gabadini Mango trying to work the space to shoot. He's laid it off for Banda.
Brilliant. That is now Malawi at their best. The wing play is one thing that I guess maybe Eswatini has dealt it very well. We haven't seen too many balls played from the wide areas, but this case, with the defender diving there, it allowed the Malawi attacking player to bring this surprise cutback, which obviously Mhango, with nowhere to go, decided to lay it back to the oncoming Banda. Decent move.
Malawi have it again, this time with Peter Banda. Tossed into play, but easily away by Mkonta. Tanisa beaten in the air by Kelvin Kadinje. That's it done by Pilani Mkonto. One of the more recent additions to this Eswatini squad. He's going to get it back here, Mkonto. twisting away from the attentions of John Banda. Hone. That's it, first half in the book here. Just the second match at this 2022 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup tournament. It is a 0-0 scoreline at half-time. Not for the want of trying, though. Both teams have showed plenty of endeavour as they search for the opener. Eswatini to take a step towards the quarterfinals, whilst Malawi are looking to stay in the running. And the players getting a little tense here. Nothing to separate them, though. It's 0-0 between Malawi and Eswatini.
Ready for Shampopo and spinning with Hollywood Bets? Play Spina Zonke online now and enter our world of fantasy. Is hot fruit a favorite of yours? Be your own king with COSAFA. Or try your luck at the Wealth Inn. With hundreds of exciting games to choose from, there is something for everyone. Get spinning now with Hollywood Bets and Spina Zonke.
Welcome back to the Kings Eswatini Stadium in Umlazi, where Malawi and Eswatini are currently deadlocked at 0-0. It's a crucial Group B encounter today at the 2022 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup. Eswatini won their opening game whilst Malawi lost, so it is do or die for the Flames. And in an effort to try and draw themselves level, they will be making a couple of changes. The first player withdrawn is Mhone, and on in his place comes Chester. We also see the introduction of Anthony Davies coming on for Gabadinho Mahango. That might be a surprise to a few. To get back underway, Eswatini kicking us off for the second half. And immediately, there is a huge moment here. Wow! Sihlangu caught cold. And Malawi, almost immediately after the interval, have the advantage. How about that for an impact off the bench? Brilliant. Davy, reinstated, having been sacrificed as one of the 5 changes they made. And sometimes you just feel like a player had a point to prove.
Yeah, and a big lesson to be learned. The first few minutes of a half are critical. This is a big mistake. I don't know, the goalkeeper and the striker and the defender obviously getting entangled here. I'm not sure who the defender was. That ball was within touch in the beginning, but I guess maybe the goalkeeper's approach doesn't help. And advantage taken. I mean, to look at the stats on how positively they reflected in favor of Eswatini and how that changes with just a flick from a no shot on goal in the whole first half to a goal.
A man who debuted in the last game, he might get in on the action once again. Here he is, Davy with the big opportunities, waiting for some reinforcements to arrive. In the end, the chance squandered. An opportunity for him to net what would have just been his second international goal, his first having come moments after the restart.
I'm just trying to look here. Is Muyaba still in the pitch or in the field of play? Muyaba.
Muyaba is still there.
Yeah, because that's how they started. That's how it worked in that first half.
Oh my goodness. How has he missed that?
Yes,
Speaking of Muyaba.
Yeah. I mean, between the two of them, I mean, they're big and strong, and actually I was a little bit concerned about the changes made because I thought they worked well in that first game, except for that they maybe didn't have the luck. He knows it.
Well, advantage Malawi. Eswatini on the back foot now.
But now, thinking back into that first half, there was opportunities that Eswatini could have used to their favour, but they weren't decisive in taking them.
Well, could create a very, very interesting group dynamic as well.
With 3 teams on 3 points.
Malawi would be joining Eswatini on 3 points. As it stands, Lesotho still with their game to come against Mauritius. They could grab a big advantage if they can beat the Islanders, but then by the same token, Mauritius will feel like the door is back open for them to move to 3 points and have it really come down to the wire on that
final day.
That final day of the group stages, and potentially down to goal difference, potentially down to goals scored.
Because as it stands, even with Eswatini trailing, they still could be on top because the goal difference, depending on how many goals, obviously, Malawi will score.
Long throw from Fanelo Mamba. Look at that launch. I recall on day one, I said he has the ability, when he gets it really right, to launch the ball from hand to the back post almost.
Indeed.
Yeah. It's quite incredible. Now, decent cross in. Zanisa was challenging for it.
I think in a way, maybe this is going to work out positively for Eswatini in the sense that I think they were a bit more defensive and just trying to manage the situation, not wanting to open it up. But this might just create a hunger of some sort whereby they might just want to come back and bounce back and get an equalizer. So that will help open up the game a bit more than it was.
Chance to turn and shoot. Hasn't made a clean connection at all, Dlamini. Well, he, like Malawi's goal scorer, no, it's too early to call for a sub just based on that alone. Would have liked to have debuted in a previous game, score in his next. Wasn't to be.
He's more the number 10, but maybe if you look at Nzinisa up front, between him and Fanelo, they always look a bit isolated from the rest. And Neliswa is the one player that is more than number 10, who plays behind the strikers. But I think the pressure from Malawi has been such that he found himself drifting a little bit further deep in the field, not being close enough to help Nzinisa.
Oh, brilliant work done by Chester. Sanisa goes down under the challenge. So this is how the goal came. Kuda Myaba from the angle, and then, yep, it's given to Kuda Myaba because it had already crossed the line and Davy struck it. So not his first international goal. Kuda Myaba scores what is his third. Thank you to our team behind the scenes for just making 100% sure of that. We attribute it to the correct player. Chester can't lay it back effectively. Given away by Twyla. Having a go with John Panda.
Not a bit short, from that range as well. That's the thing about him. You saw in the first half as well. Maybe it was not on target again in that first half, but decent shot from some range. So he picks a shot. That one seems to spin away from goal in the last second.
Danger once again. Well, Malawi will have to draft in a few more locally based players for the upcoming Chan qualifiers at the end of this month. What can they conjure from here? Vanessa to the rescue. It's out for a corner. Let's say Malawi have a game against. In fact, I think they will be getting a bye through to play in the second round, the winner of Mozambique versus Zambia, because they're scheduled first round ties against Zimbabwe. The reason Zimbabwe are not here at the COSAFA Cup is their FIFA sanctions still in effect, so won't play any international football. So a lucky break for Malawi in that regard, and a little bit of a longer period to get themselves ready. Golden put right on top of the goalkeeper.
The impact of considering a goal. Suddenly Eswatini looks a little bit shaky. And they're not high pressing as they did. The flow of balls into this attacking third of Malawi is flowing a bit more than it was in that first half. For me, they're shell-shocked, and they need somebody in that field of play just to help them calm down, and also to concede that early in the half doesn't help the composure.
Stuck a toe in really well, but they've won it back, and it's with Sfiso Matse. Oh, they love it.
He's definitely a star.
Rode the challenge well to Chester. That's the goal scorer, Kuda Myaba. Chester again. Out to Stanley Sanuri. And Sanuri's ball in. So they need to make a sub here, Eswatini.
It's a revive in Malawi. Very, very positive. And the combination, the passes to get themselves clear, the timing of the passes into the on-running players is much better. There's definitely a better quality of play in all areas.
Ball's eventually squirted out for Eswatini, but turned over for Malawi. Kuda Myaba challenging for that. It's with Lindom Konta. Onto the ball, new man onto the field, Sandile Gamete. And Zanisa. Shifted out wide. To Konta. Gamete. Kamedze looking to go around his man, and he's got a cross in, fended away. Always feels good when you suggest a likely sub and it comes to fruition early in the second half. Did say Sandile Kamedze would likely be introduced.
He's got the experience. For some reason, I don't know, he doesn't get to start much for the national team. He's always brought as an impact player.
Mamba with a long throw, nice and flat. Can't find the head of a teammate. A ball put in behind by Spiso Matse. Fanelo Mamba taking a tumble off the ball. Through from Yaba. Maybe. Dispossessed by Mabilesa. Kamedze. Spiso Matse. Matse can hit them. Trying to work the space, steered out wide, plenty waiting. Vanello Mamba apologizes for the ineffectual cross, but he'll be looking to make amends with his hands in this throw-in.
And I think he was thinking more shot than a pass, but it wasn't good, a decent pass to start with, or should I say shot that he meant.
Mamba's throw. Good header clear. Myaba wide on the left. Actually Clifford. Myaba collects and has it taken away from him. Kamedze now for Eswatini. Still has the attention of John Banda. Tanisa. Mabilesa. Kwanazi. Now Dlamini.
More like how they need to play. More like I know they can play better now.
Denis with Dlamini.
Constructive.
Gets the return pass from Matse. It's much better. Twala trying to find the opposite fullback in the form of Konta. Quarter hour of this second half has elapsed. The crowd have lost none of their energy. Wonderful atmosphere with the drum as well.
It's been quite some time.
Quite some time since?
Since we saw such a very vocal fans in the stands.
A reminder once again, free entrance at the Kings Eswatini Stadium. John Banda earning his 85th cap today.
Imagine just how much the fans were denied this moment. You can watch it at home, but it's never the same.
Lofted upfield, somehow managed to get a cross in. Nice strength shown by Tanisa. Defensive work by Paul and Ndlovu, equally good. So little experience shared between the two centre halves. Zinja on debut, Ndlovu earning just a second cap. Set back for Nkonta. Was lost cheaply by Mabelesu, who's racing back to try and stop that attack. Stanley Sanuri, Chester, and Chester's cross. Well, initially I thought it may have taken a nick off the toe of Dlamini.
That's exactly
no
what I
protest
thought.
from him either. Yeah. Sislangu had been in camp for a little while. They played their second AFCON qualifier against Burkina Faso, a match that they lost 3-1. Had to contest it here at home in South Africa. Then the players returned to their clubs to wrap up the league before reassembling. They had a pretty easy trip to Durban, as opposed to last year when they spent 16 hours on the road. Oh, one by Chester. Applied the pressure, got the reward. Fighting hard against Kwanazi, who succeeds in that particular battle. Eswatini obviously have a lot of work now to do in terms of AFCON qualifying. They did come through the preliminary round pretty comfortably, beat Somalia 5-1 on aggregate. And then drew 2-2 with Togo before that loss to Burkina Faso. Things looked rosy at a point in that game before the Burkinabe came back with a vengeance. That's brilliant. Surely an opportunity here to get the shot off. He has done. Fanelo Mamba and thrashed it wide. Well scored. A terrific goal in the opening game, the 3-0 win over Mauritius. Can't hit the target here.
Good take with his chest, set himself clear from the defenders, and comfortably takes the shot, but skews it a little bit.
A reminder that we have another match coming up for you later on. Lesotho versus Mauritius. Lesotho looking to build on their 2-1 win over Malawi in their opener. And they know that should they be able to get a victory over the part-timers of Ledodo, that they'll have a massive advantage in this group, meaning that they would just need a point of Eswatini in their closing game, provided they can win today. Just one team advancing from each of our 4-team groups. That effort ricocheting towards the Malawi attackers.
Spear of the nation.
Just a couple caps shy of 60s, Nisa. It's a nice ball. Kudamyaba, he has to set it back for a teammate. Felt the presence of the defenders behind him. Kamini tumbles down. Kwanazi hoofs that upfield. 32-year-old from Young Buffaloes. Twala's ball. Tanisa. Still Tanisa. Laying it off for Mamba, who's offside.
Yeah, it gets a bit desperate sometimes, you know. Instead of looking or finding where you are in the field of play, and you know, just the anxiety of wanting to get into a scoring position sometimes gets the better of you. That's what happened to Mamba.
Now Zanisa is was either clutching the back of his knee or his hamstring.
Which will be a big concern, because without him up front, he's the one player that you know when the ball gets to him, there's a big chance he can score.
Is to say that the spear will be a lot blunter if he can't continue. The bottom of your screen, left-hand corner, that's Mauritius making their way off the team bus. They, like Malawi, needing a victory in the game. Malawi about midway through this second half, so still some time to see out, but they're getting there. The job inching closer to getting the job done. Konta glides past his man, puts it across. Easily repelled by Malawi. It's with Kuda Mnyaba. Chops back inside. Here comes Mnyaba. Oh, brilliant skill. And Peter Dlamini gets it away. Flames have it again. Keep the pressure on. 4 inside the 18-yard area for Malawi. Chance to measure that ball in. Konta with the clearance. Isolated is Skamete. It's 1 against 4. Mabalesa. Twala. Mabalesa's dispossessed. It's Chester. Still Chester continues on. It's good defensive work done by Sihlangu Kwanazi. Kwanazi to Komete. The centre half has continued his run. Well, Malawi didn't have a particularly great time of it at last year's COSAFA Cup in Kabeja. They finished 4th in their group, although they were 5 points behind 3rd place Namibia, so never really in the reckoning, and they didn't win a game. Opened their campaign with a 2-2 draw against Zimbabwe, and then lost 2-0 to Mozambique before drawing with Namibia. Another off-the-ball incident there. Referee not interested. Eventually lost 2-1 to Senegal in their final group game. Hope you can't read lips. Kamete with certainly a bit of frustration.
Yeah, that looked like a push. And once again, look at the proximity of the ball. If the ball is within, then it could be maybe viewed as
it happened to Mamba as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was an off-the-ball push. But the debutant, Gedzinje, gets away with it.
Well, I'll view it in this fashion. Felix has got a lot of work to be able to correct tonight. It's so serious that if you're found to have been very poor, you are actually sent home.
Yeah.
And nothing misses Felix here.
Johnny Dutoy also working as a referee's assessor this year, as he does most years at the COSAFA Cup. Kuda Miaba, some space to exploit. Miaba from distance.
No wonder his season was so successful at Polokwane City. You can see he's a player with lots of hunger. He doesn't wait for the very open goal for him to score. He scores from awkward angles, and he's always giving him his chance to basically find the back of the net. It's just shot from all angles.
Game quite open. There are a few very weary legs out there. Remember, the turnaround time in this tournament is not exactly ideal. Unseeded sides that have to play in the group stages, they play virtually back to back. A game, a day's rest, a game, a day's rest, and a game again.
In this game, the recovery period is so quickly, and if players don't get enough of that, injuries are even possible. Sometimes they might play and the game might look good, but let me tell you, they still are found to be performing way less than the normal performance. Like I said, for me, sometimes it depends so much on just the conditioning of the team as a whole to eventually see them through.
Better from Eswatini. Oh, terrific effort from the edge of the area from Gamedze. It's just a little too close to Clevum Kungula.
Unlucky, son. That was a snap shot, eh? He wasn't even facing goal. Had it been anywhere else, maybe the goalkeeper might have been challenged.
Kungula did enough. Richard Jimbamba's understudy at Nyasa, making his debut in between the sticks today. Another change for Eswatini. It's young Neliswa Dlamini who's being withdrawn, and Bongo Matsibula is coming onto the park. Well, that is the second change they've made after introducing Gamedze. Matsibula debuted off the bench in their previous game against Mauritius. They're hoping to earn a start at this tournament, I'm sure. But for now, he needs to make the most of this opportunity with a quarter hour remaining. His side trailing to Malawi. Miaba turns it over. There's Peter Bando, who's been a little quieter in the second half, but that's a good contribution. Malawi have gone short. Just back to Banda trying to wriggle his way free. Opportunity on the break here for Eswatini. Took it in his stride brilliantly well. Mamba. Mabilesa. Namkwanazi. Oh, he's lucky his loose pass is not pounced upon by one from the Flames. Comfortably claimed by the goalkeeper. Malawi contesting the AFCON qualifiers in Group D. Got off to a good start against Ethiopia at home. Kabadini Mahango has been subbed in this match, scoring in that game. Abubakar Nasir, who just moved to Mamelodi Sundowns, or at least earned his move a year ago, but will now be playing for them, having remained in his team on loan. Scored Ethiopia's goal. It did go down in their second AFCON qualifier to Guinea. Maybe Keita breaking Malawi hearts inside injury time in that game. A 1-0 victory for Guinea.
Pace of the game seems to be to have dropped a little bit. I'm not sure if it's a question of Malawi now being comfortable that they're close to getting their victory, or Eswatini just running out of steam.
I didn't expect to see that from Jumwe Dana. It was brilliant. That's not so much. 24-year-old Precious Sambani. Trying ball forward, met by the heads of Vinzanisa. Can't link up with a teammate though. Chester in space. Bunda. And Bunda snapshots. Wide of the mark.
Chester, you know, quietly has gone about his business beautifully on this right-hand side of the attack for Malawi. He hardly gives the ball away. If the chance is there for him to carry it a bit more, even minus 1 or 2 players, he does it. And for me, it's also just the endurance that is shown. He continues to play in the attack on a continuous base.
No one launched long, but the flag had gone up for offside. Eswatini trail, but they actually came into this game with the opportunity to win consecutive matches for the first time since 2016. That's when they beat Seychelles 4-0 and Madagascar 1-0. Back-to-back matches. That 4-0 win against Seychelles actually their biggest margin of victory in COSAFA Cup history, which they came very close to matching against Mauritius 2 days back.
The only other challenge that they have, Eswatini, is that with that victory in their first game, it was very convincing and created a lot of expectation coming into this game.
Scotty Chirwa onto the park now for the Flames. And we'll make another change. The inquest starts now. Luqolo Badi, the fourth official. Game continues. Got it away nicely, have Malawi. Not too many numbers upfield. It was at the feet of the man they would probably want to be in this situation. Kudamia with the return pass to Dana. Captain John Bunda. Stanley Sanudi, his vice. Sanudi's cross repelled, but at the expense of a corner.
And here's another advantage for Malawi that they can take. Fly the ball directly into the box.
Yep.
Goalkeeper is his son is right in his face, and it might be difficult to track the flight. Delaying the restart.
Kudamiyaba earns a yellow to go with the goal. Trying to help it along with his head there. Well, 2 yellow cards, and he'll be suspended for 1 match. But the only player in the Malawi team that came into this game with a card is Sowoya, who I think they're waiting to bring on. Matsibula effectively finds Gamedze. Shot from distance. A vicious effort from Mabilesa, just wide of the mark.
This wasn't bad at all.
Not bad at all for a man who's never scored an international goal.
The laces. Most will ballon that ball over the bar. And coming from that kind of a range.
Idana. Banda wants the return. Banda with a crisp hit. Took it first time on the half volley. The angle against him, but forced to save out of Matabela.
And so sudden that the goalkeeper, though it was straight, but it was hit so well that the goalkeeper only had one option, was to punch it away. But I still think he could have done better just to hold it.
Away by Konta. Time running out for Eswatini. Finally, the subs will be taking place.
Shoemaker it is that was going to come in.
Yeah. Yaba withdrawn.
And if I'm not mistaken, Banda as well.
Yeah, and Sowoya is on.
Oh, he's going for the keel, eh?
He is. Sowoya on, Kwali Schumacher on. That's all 5 subs used. Stanley Sanuri and Idana. Well, the attacking players for Malawi also struggling when they have their backs to goal, just in terms of trying to locate the ball in the sky with the sun in the eyes. This is Twyla for Eswatini. Launched forwards, easily away. Idana, a skill from him. Crowd enjoyed that. Cut out by Mabilesa. Mabilesa holding off John Banda. Fanelo Mamba now. Mamba dispossessed. And Mamba will be booked.
That's a part of this game that we keep saying he needs to get better. He get himself into the referee's book unnecessarily.
If you recall, he was red carded at last year's COSAFA Cup. Twyla watches that drift out. Matsibula's ball in, almost connector with Vanello Mamba.
Good reaction from the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Came in very handy. They used his hand to his advantage.
Well, certainly represents a good debut for Clevum Kungula. The 22-year-old can keep a clean sheet. It brings Malawi back into the reckoning for a quarter-final spot. Well, the winner of Group B will play Senegal. That's at the Princess Magogo Stadium next week. Next week, Wednesday. Perhaps they can put the game to bed. An effort off the mark from Chirwa.
I'm not a fan of the ball's hoofed from your own half all the way to the other side. It's more like giving ball position away. If you can string a few passes, get a little bit higher into around the center line, and then you can pinpoint a long pass into a runner.
Good block tackle from Twala. Wants to exploit the pace of Mamba. And Mamba feels the hand of Kazinje. He goes down.
I can tell you, this man in the middle, the official, I'm talking about the ref, he's, I don't think he's in line with the game. He's missing a number of elements.
That could be a partisan assessment, though.
but I can tell you, I feel like there's some obvious ones. I mean, that every now and then that any other ref would have taken it, and he lets them go.
Leon Manyisa is on for Fanelo Mamba. Another effort from range, again off target.
I'm not sure if he'll have enough time, Manyisa. He's one youngster that really has seen a light in his first season.
Yep, he has Konfo, man who scored 2 goals at the 2021 edition, including in the bronze medal match against Mozambique that they drew 1-1, eventually won 4-2 on penalties, Eswatini, to claim 3rd place at the competition.
Play a bit. That for me, I'm a fan of a team that can, particularly if you have the players that can knock the ball around a little bit. I know there's not a lot of time left, but at least stick to what you believe in, stick to what can give you some hope of a result.
We're about to head into injury time here. Stanley Sanuri living dangerously for a moment. 3 minutes tacked on at the end of the 90. Well, I guess a draw would serve Eswatini quite well here. It means their fate would effectively still be in their hands against Lesotho in their final game. If they were able to get the victory, and they had 4 points going into that game. We need an equaliser.
Big time.
Set back for Twala. Assesses the scene. Lofts it upfield. Possession turned over. Nicely cut out by the captain, Konta. Konfo threads it through. That's a brilliant ball. Stunning ball. Referee surely has to point to the spots, and he has. That's a clear shove in the back.
That's the youngster.
Manyisa's come onto the field to make a huge difference here.
But here's the thing, don't over-celebrate here, because you still need somebody that can be clinical in front of goals with that take.
Absolutely.
But there's hope, great hope with that.
Well, he made his debut off the bench against Mauritius, did Manyisa. Now, what's going on here? The Malawian players are imploring the first assistant, second assistant rather, Zacharias Baloy from Mozambique to get involved and have his say, his input towards the referee. There's a look at it.
Well, yeah, okay, it's given. Look at the run.
It stands, the penalty stands, although on second viewing, there wasn't particularly much in it, I must say, but then again, Manyisa wasn't given really the opportunity to latch onto it because he did take a slight nudge.
Listen, Manyisa knew what he was doing. It's some players like Abotiko can tell you, when they get into that box, they wait just for the slightest of touches and they go down, convincingly that, and that's what he did.
Kungula's got a yellow card for his protests, and now the debutant front and centre in the final moments of additional time. Well, what a difference a few seconds can make. You know what? It's the movement of the arm. There's a clear
push. As much as he maybe felt a little bit easy, but the shove, there was a big shove on his upper body.
Yeah. Now, Lindom Konta took the penalty to open the scoring against Mauritius in their first game. But in a pressure moment like this, it's got to be the main man, Sabelo Ntinisa, who himself scored against Club M. He's got more goals than the rest of his teammates on the park combined. Big moment in this match. Turning point potentially in Group B. Sabelo Ntinisa gets it exactly right. And he's dumped Malawi out of the 2022 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup. Eswatini will have their fates in their own hands come the final match, regardless of what happens, even if Lesotho can get a win and move to 6 points. Huge moment, big goal.
Spear of the moment. As you see some of the officials of Eswatini, the lady on that bluish shirt, Namsile, she's the PR of Mondini Pirates, and obviously quite a number of the entourage from Eswatini. Power! Not a chance, as much as he saw which direction he was going, but the pace of the ball was just so much that he was never going to get to it.
Well, he strolled up and blasted it. Sabelo Ntinisa with a piercing strike.
Well said. Nothing pierces better than a spear.
Well, Malawi were just seconds away from a victory that would have kept them alive in this competition. Eswatini have snatched an equalizer.
Now, it's a question of trying to manage what remains of injury time. Additional to injury time that was already that the game was on.
Sanudi with the throw, helped into the box and hacked away by Mabilesa. There's the final whistle. Joy for Sislangu Semlikati, and the match referee from Zambia is the subject of
scrutiny.
A vehement Malawian protest. He'll need to be escorted off the park here And to the credit of some of the Malawian players, they are doing the right thing in a sporting sense. But they feel as though this official has cost them big time. When they review the footage, well, perhaps they'll still feel like they were hard done by, but it's the movement of the arm that's really cost them in this particular situation. Big result here. Eswatini snatch an equalizer, and Malawi are out. It's 1-1 at full time. Here are the match highlights. A look at what transpired over the course of 90 minutes. A disastrous start to the second half for Eswatini, and a goal from Kuda Mnyaba from a tight angle.
I feel like there were better chances where Malawi could have scored more goals, but this one was scrappy, and yet it counted. And Eswatini there, like I said, for me, it's a big lesson that you don't switch off right from the start of the half. Those are the moments of the game that you have to be at your best with your concentration levels.
Still had a lot of work to do. They're putting One City forward. Initially, it appeared as though the sub had only been brought on at half-time. It snatched that goal. Wasn't the case. They had an opportunity, or few opportunities, to get a second, which would have put the game to bed. This on the boot of Peter Banda.
That's the point I was making for me. I think Malawi, once again, I think they put up a beautiful performance here. But again, I feel like that front line, that attacking third, is still not functioning according to what the coach can expect. But you know what? It's another game that maybe they can get to correct. And here's the goal.
Well, there's a push in the back of Manyisa, making just his second appearance. Both have come off the bench for Eswatini. You see Dominic Kunene, he kept he waited until the penalty had been scored to celebrate. It's the arm movement from John Banda.
Yes, that for me, for the well experienced player like John, he should have known better that anything of that move in that area can be given. It was.
And then the man for the big moments, Sabelo Nsanisa, with a really, really well taken penalty to restore parity, and there were just seconds remaining. The whistle went not longer after this. Eswatini stay atop the group with 4 points now. Lesotho could move past them after their game against Mauritius still to come.
The elephant is still sitting.
It's still sitting. A good even match in terms of the goal attempts and indeed the possession. We really enjoyed this one, and a big twist at the end.
Well, on pitch side with our man of the match from Eswatini, Umzwandile Mabilisa. Congratulations, here to give him the man of the match accolade is Usiya Sangweni Putami Ngelumnike. Congratulations, Zwandile. It looked like the 3 points was slipping from Itimbalako. That late penalty, that conversion, how much did your team need today's points?
There is nothing I can say. All I can say is that hard work pays. We prepared this for a training, and then these are the results of hard working. All I can say is that hard work pays.
Siyabonga Putwami. Congratulations on the Man of the Match award.
Siyabonga, madam.
Siyabonga Putwami. And Mzwandile walking away with the Man of the Match accolade. Coach, I don't even know where to start with putting your emotions.
Well, first of all, you have
coach.
to start from a cheating referee with a cheating player. That actually what they do, they rub a match. And actually, if you're too fake, God is going to punish them. One way or the other, they're going to get punished, yeah? That's not the way to win a match for cheating. You want to have fair play, you don't have fair play. You have a bunch of cheaters.
Having felt like you dominated that game and losing it like that at the end, coach, you worked so hard in staying compact, in minimizing the gaps between your defense, pressing them high, coach. Where does this put you now going into the next game, coach, mentally for the team?
Well, let's put it said, we have to get one game at a time. The same thing like we done in the previous match. We know that we are a good team. We know that if we work hard, we can beat any team. And what's no different today. We had our chances. We probably could have taken, a bit more. But unfortunately, that's actually it is. We didn't take our chance, but we didn't expect, them to have such a, blatant cheating in, 90 minutes. The referee then, actually the assistant said that was a dive. It's supposed to be booked. And then, the fourth referee was insisting, we hear him when actually were insisted to give a penalty. So obviously, had, with that man there, they have a clear direction, a clear cut. So, unfortunately, that's the reason. If you're to look, none of them in Africa, if they keep cheating, they don't make it, if you look in the World Cup, none of them they referee World Cup final because basically, cheating doesn't pay.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank
All
you
the
very
best
much.
for your next game. Coach, very, very upset after that late penalty, but Coach, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Coach Dominic Kunene, Coach, a high-tempo game. Physically challenging from the onset, Coach. You look at the fact that your team was giving as much as it was getting. Second half, it was very difficult for your side, being pressed high and struggling to just also penetrate that defense. But let's just talk about that penalty at the end and how much it's now helped your side.
Yeah, to me, a penalty, it's a sign of pressure. So I'm happy. Our players showed character today. It was a tough game. Like I mentioned during the pre-match interview, it was a difficult one. But I'm happy, a point, against the best. So coming back to the goal they scored, I mentioned something like having respect for the field of play. We failed to respect the field of play. It was our own half, but we made a lot of touches, so they punished us.
Coach, thank you so much. All the best for your final game against Lesotho.
You're welcome, ma'am. Sure.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Dominic of Eswatini, a sigh of relief. It was a slip.